open till 5, sometimes 4, 5, or 6. So I can drop multiple spots from about 12:01 till about 2. I'm pumping Eve after dark. You leaving a concert? I'm pumping Eve after dark. You leaving Uncle Jam's Army? I'm pumping Eve after dark. $10, $20. I spend $20, $30 on the weekend, and that $30 might make me another 200 or 300. Oh, that's right. The Eve was over. That's right. Let's move by to see what's happening. And once people see the parking lot full, they're gonna come and see what's happening.
Stepping out the box.
Hey,
I love that.
You ain't got to reinvent the wheel. Just put some armor all on the ones that you see. Cal Worthington figured it out for me. He gave me the formula. I just took it and applied it to radio and Eve After Dark.
That is very smart. I love hearing shit like that. Hey, the J. Roos Theory has a question, and I'm gonna say it because I watched this myself, or I listened to it, I should say, and it was amazing. He says, Lonzo, did you see Damon Wilson's interview on Comedy Hype? He was exposing some things about Hollywood. Damon Wilson, who played Lamont from Sanford and Son.
I didn't see the whole thing. I did see
some. So good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it personally. I thought it was really good. But hey, let's talk about Sanford and Son, man, because he was exposing a lot of things about the show back in the day. How big of a show was that when, back in your day? And did Red Fox ever make it through the Eve After Dark? Or did you guys ever come in close proximity?
I never told you that, but my connection to Sanford and Son, did I?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, you know what? My favorite character on Sanford and Son was Rollo. I love Rollo, okay? And I was going to El Camino College, and I had this beautiful girl in my class. We had an acting class, as fine as you want to be. And I found out that was Rollo's daughter. I was on her ass, okay? That became my girl. I had a chance to meet Rollo. Me and Rollo became very tight up until the time he died, okay? I was one argument from being his son-in-law, okay? And I was one argument. We couldn't get past that bullshit, and it didn't work out. But he and I stayed tight the entire time. Even after she and I broke up, me and him still stayed tight. That was my racquetball buddy, man. Nathaniel Taylor was my racquetball buddy. I was a part of their family for quite some time, and we would sit there and talk about Sanford and Son and how at that time he was making $5,000 a week. He told me he was making $5,000 a week, but they never gave him any kind of clothes budget. Because I mean, you was always clean. What was your budget? I had to buy my clothes, man. They didn't give him dressing rooms. They didn't give him none of the stuff. It came standard with anybody else. And he says, me and Dre did the show a few weeks ago after Norman Lear passed. And I was like, man, forget Norman Lee. No. I know things about him. And I'm not going to disrespect the man, but I know he played the same game everybody else played. He stole stuff from black folks, and he didn't treat black folks as equal when it came to his shows. And the whole Sanford and Son was stolen. It was actually called Steptoe and Son, a show out of England. Same concept, okay? But at that time, that whole show was Norman Lear was on a roll because he was the first one that had folks cussing. One of the first shows I ever heard George Jefferson say the word nigger was on Jefferson, okay?
That was huge.
Fred Sanford said it, okay? My daddy loved Fred Sanford. He loved Sanford and Son because Sanford and Son was staged, was supposed to be right here in Watts. And I went looking for that junkyard a couple times. It didn't exist. But being that my daddy was into used appliances, I remember going to junkyards as a kid. This is a true story. My daddy would we had junkyards. We literally had junkyards. People with water heaters. Hold on, let me fix my microphone. Got a little noise. Water heaters, windows, used toilets. My old man, he would go to a junkyard. One of my toilets in the house break down. We go down there and get a water heater. Go down and get a toilet, whatever the case may be. And I grew up going to junkyards, and I could relate to Sanford and Son, and my daddy could too. And to see all those characters, because you got to understand, everybody on Sanford and Son was at a club here locally before they got to Sanford and Son. Fred Sanford took all his friends out of the clubs and put them on TV with him. That's one thing I respect about him to no end. Richard and Esther, LaWanda Page, she was at the Five Torches on a regular basis. The two uncle, her husband Woodrow, the drunk, he was a comedian. Most of these acts were on Duto's records. So they was always at Duto's. Always. Fred Foxx was always at Duto's. He was always at Duto's. The two old dudes, Grady had a what Grady's real name was Grady had a travel agency right there on Manchester and Crenshaw. If you go down Manchester and Crenshaw,
Whitman Mayo,
thank you. He had a travel agency right there on Manchester, across the street from the Big Lots. It's a white building. It's a Moby's cafe, about 2 doors down from the Moby's cafe, was his travel agency. And Skillet and Leroy, thank you, Marlon. Skillet and Leroy, and they was at Dudo's on a regular basis. Compton. I mean, LA had its own chitlin circuit, and they were all them guys. Bubba, Skillet, thank you. I need all them names. You know, sometimes this light make you erase your brain. But I remember growing up seeing these guys' names in this paper called we had a newspaper called The Scoop. The Scoop was the entertainment paper of South Central Los Angeles. Every club advertised in The Scoop. And The Scoop also had one thing that was really dope. They had the Scoop of the Week, okay? In the back of The Scoop, they had the Scoop of the Week. That was the finest girl from the hood, okay? And, oh, yeah, Scoop borrowed that from Jet. They had the Jet Beauty and Miss Scoop of the Week. And I knew a couple of women back in the day that was Scoop of the Week. Knocked them off, wow. Too. Anyway, okay? That was, to knock off a Scoop of the Week girl or Jet girl, man, that was the ultimate thing back in the day. Yeah, shit. And I was running Eve After Dark. Scoop was the shit back then. You know, and to get the front page of the Scoop, man, it cost you a nice piece of change, man. You had to come with it. It was $400 back then. And clubs would fight. Literally, club owners would damn near fight. And my boy who owned the paper, he passed. But we would talk about how these clubs, these club owners would play games with him, and he wouldn't play with them. All right, man. Deadline is Wednesday at such a time. If you ain't got it, I'm gonna sell it to somebody else. And sure enough, boy, they get mad. Next time it came time to advertise, they pay him in advance. That's real talk. So all those acts that were Skillet and Leroy, Aunt Esther, everybody, Woodrow, all of them were on Dutone Records, I believe, and I know they all performed at Dudo's. I was part of a circuit. So yes, that whole situation, I was very well connected to it. I met Red Fox one time. I met Skillet and Leroy in passing. They were older back. They was off TV by then. They was damn near didn't know who they was. Not long me. But me and Rollo, that was my dude. I went to his funeral, spoke at his funeral, the whole 9 yards. That was my dude. He was my racquetball buddy. He was almost my father-in-law. One less argument, we'd have been. I bought the ring and everything. That was no bullshit.
Hey, but Red Fox was huge, right? And was he one that you had to listen to, away from the parents? Red Fox was pretty huge, right?
Red Fox had his own building over on La Brea. Big old Red Fox on the side of the building. He was like that, dude. It was like that. I mean, when he was at his peak, dude, he was no joke. I remember seeing Red Fox in Vegas. Red Fox, me and my girl would go to Vegas. We go see Red. That's the only show I really went to go see was Red Fox. And Red Fox was clean as a chitlin. Had on this beautiful medallion with a red ruby fox in the middle of it, gold chain, tuxedo, with a turtleneck on. And guess who wears his shit the same way right to this day? You very seldom see me with a tie on. I got gangs of turtlenecks and gangs of my turtlenecks. so my medallion can hang. And I got it from Red Fox. No bullshit.
Love that.
That's no bullshit.
Legend, man, legend.
He was a very influential dude. And Red Fox said something one time. He said, Red, you've been telling the same jokes for the past 20 years. He said, but I tell them for a different crowd every night.
That's it.
But Red Fox didn't really cuss. Red Fox.
Okay. I don't know why I have that image in me that he cussed. I don't know why.
He was dirty, but he didn't cuss. He would say, he was on his album covers. He'd have an album cover called "Wash Your Ass." He'd have a picture of a donkey up there. Okay, he wasn't like Dolomite. He had one joke about this soap called Fug. Okay, it was called Fugg, and he go talk about this soap called Fug. At the end of the night, when you get through, go fug yourself. Okay, and it's close, but it ain't what you thought it was. He was the master of that shit, man. He was a master.
Damn. Oh, love that. I love talking that old stuff, man.
That's why I love Eddie Murphy when he brought all them cats together, man. He brought Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Robin Harris, his
Harlem
brother,
Nights,
all these comedians, Della Reese for that movie, for his movie, Harlem Nights. I just watched it the other day, just for the hell of it.
Always.
So that's the kind of love. Red Fox, Eddie Murphy. That's the kind of shit I don't see more young people doing. Man, look out for the folks that you looked at. These brothers paved your way. Why don't you do something for them to show them some love, man? You know, what's the big deal? You claim all this money you got, but you ain't looking out for nobody, man. Eddie Murphy looked out for everybody. He went back and grabbed old man John Amos, threw him in his movies. Who else he grabbed? He grabbed John Amos, Arsenio, of course. I mean, he had all kind of cats working with him. Eddie was good. He's good for that. You know, and so was and I think he probably got it from Red Fox. Man, time is up already. God damn.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it, Lonzo. Always a pleasure, man. Any last words?
Hey, folks, check out the documentary. It's on Amazon. It's blowing up. Folks are loving it. I'm getting nothing but good responses from it. People have been texting me. People who know me been texting me, telling me how much they love it and they appreciate it. Well, that ain't it though. I got another one coming too, boy. We in post production on the other one, N.W.A. Not Without Lonzo. It should be out. It should be finished. Hopefully end of this month. We've been shooting. We shot all through the holidays, and I got one person. I'm waiting to shoot one of Dre's exes, and she just got sick on this doc. One of Dre's ex. She actually saw Straight Outta Compton. I hadn't talked to this girl in 20 years. She saw Straight Outta Compton and was so pissed at how they portrayed me in Straight Outta Compton. She knew me. She knew Dre. She knew everybody. She was my group, my fresh flesh. And she called me pissed off. Lonzo, I need to say something. I need to come on your podcast. I got something better than that. I want you to come on, be on my documentary. She said, I'm coming. And she messed around and caught the flu. So I'm waiting. She's my last interview, and it's going down.
Love it, man. Hit him with that rap.
All right, folks. For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery. Stuck Ice Cube in the freezer until he got cold. On the eve after dark, 50-yard line Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that bullshit because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you'll ever know. Just remember that Lonzo, N.W.A. stands for Not Without Lonzo, folks. Peace. I fuck it up every week. I'm going to get it right.